This attack by Iran is daring, to say the least. A direct strike on U.S. troops stationed in nearby Iraq. But Iraq is not the only country in West Asia with U.S. troops. U.S. has multiple bases in the region, and Trump has already started his outreach to American allies. First, there was a phone call with the Qatari Emir, Sheikh Hamad Al Thani. Trump and Al Thani discussed the events in West Asia and ways to defuse the tensions. Qatar is a very close ally of the U.S. and more importantly, there are close to 13,000 U.S. troops in the country. Trump also had a rather secretive meeting with Saudi Arabia's Deputy Defense Minister, where he is said to have received a message from Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Saudi Arabia will be a crucial player in the ongoing conflict. Saudi is a staunch U.S. ally and a sworn enemy of Iran. Trump also had a call with Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel, where the two leaders discussed ways to diffuse tensions in West Asia. So Trump is reaching out to all his allies in countries where his troops are deployed. Let's give you a breakup of U.S. deployment at this stage. Turkey has close to 2,500 U.S. troops on its soil. Jordan has 3,000. Kuwait, where the latest deployment has been given, is home to 15,000 U.S. troops. Bahrain has close to 7,000 U.S. troops, and the United Arab Emirates has more than 5,000. Towards the east of Iran, the U.S. has 14,000 troops stationed in Afghanistan. Now let's take a close look at the administration claim that the missiles hit parts devoid of U.S. troops. This raises the question of whether at this map, Iran is straddled by U.S. allies. Countries with huge U.S. troop presence. Iran actually wanted to cause American casualties or make a statement to satisfy the public. Sent troops that are ready to mobilize at a moment's notice. This brings us to the current airstrikes by Yemen. And in the link Iran into question, Iraq claims that none of their forces have been killed. And sources in the U.S. latest escalation in West Asia, Iran has fired a dozen rockets at Iraq's Ain al-Assad and Erbil military bases, which host U.S. troops. The ongoing attack comes amidst tensions between Tehran and Washington, which has been escalating for a while now. The U.S. civil aviation body has banned operations over the Gulf region. The FAA has issued restrictions on non-military U.S. aircraft from operating in the airspace over Iraq, Iran and the waters of the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. The FAA said, and I quote here, the FAA will continue closely monitoring events in the Middle East. We continue coordinating with our national security partners and sharing information with U.S. air carriers and foreign civil aviation authorities. Unquote. India has also issued a travel advisory for its own citizens traveling to Iraq. The advisory said, and I quote here, in view of the prevailing situation in Iraq, Indian nationals are advised to avoid all non-essential travel to Iraq until further notification. Indian nationals residing in Iraq are advised to be on alert and may avoid travel within Iraq. Our embassy in Baghdad and consulate in Erbil will continue to function normally to provide all services to Indians residing in Iraq. In addition to this, India's national air carrier, Air India, will not be using the Iranian airspace. Singapore, Malaysian and China Airlines have also said that they will avoid Iranian airspace in the aftermath of the Iranian airstrikes. Australia's Qantas is also rerouting its flights to avoid Iraq and Iran airspaces. Air France has also suspended its flights through Iran and Iraq airspaces. Lufthansa too will not be flying over these airspaces. Meanwhile, oil prices have now surged almost 4% following the attacks. International benchmark Brent crude reached about $71.75 per barrel. It's the highest level since September 2019. The prices have now declined as fears over geopolitical tensions ease. Meanwhile, stock markets have now tumbled in Asia as an impact of the airstrikes. Nikkei in Japan was down almost 2.5%, on course for its biggest single-day loss since March 2019. Gold prices in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates also jumped, and the escalating tensions have seen prices rise by 2%, reaching a 7-year high.